Hi, my name is Lily Moser.
My name is Emma Lehman. Our project is on determining which wheat flour alternative best facilitates the Maillard reaction. Our inspiration for this project is that we're both bakers,
And I know someone with the celiac disease.
Celiac disease affects 80 million people worldwide. Because of gluten, it triggers an autoimmune response in the small intestine.
Food instability and poverty affects many people worldwide, but especially areas in Asian countries where they don't have an abundance of wheat flour, but they do have many rice fields. We chose to compare 3 possible substitutes for flour: ground nuts, ground rice, and ground coconut. We chose the nuts because they are rich in protein, the rice because they have carbohydrates, and the coconut because it is rich in fats.
We chose these alternatives because they're very easily accessible.
We hypothesized the nuts would perform best for the Maillard reaction because of the proteins that the nuts contain.
The Maillard reaction requires both proteins and carbohydrates to function.
To test this, we ground 400 grams of almonds, 200 grams of walnuts, 600 grams of rice, and 600 grams of coconuts.
We use 600 grams of each flour into a standard bread baking recipe. We calculated the density. We compared the pH of the bread dough and the fully baked bread. We also compared the browning of each bread on a color index. The bread with the nuts over caramelized and fell apart. Coconut bread was very light and also fell apart. The bread with rice was a perfect golden brown and stayed compacted. Our graph showed us that the rice and the wheat both had similar browning index scores.
Rice flour performed the best in the Maillard reaction. We believe this is because the ratio from carbohydrates to protein is similar to that in wheat flour, which is needed to support the Maillard reaction.
The bread with nuts didn't do as good because it had a weak crumb structure, and the coconut didn't do as good because it had a lot of moisture.
Something we found interesting was that the pH relatively ranged from 7 to 8. Our pH strips were not sensitive enough to detect the change in carbon dioxide release after baking. Our findings are very important because they can help people all over the world, including people with celiac disease and maybe even people in times of crisis.
In the future, we would like to collect more thorough data of the browning of bread.
We believe it is important to explore new ingredients that support baking processes like the Maillard reaction. This will give us new alternatives for our future.
We are very passionate about this experiment and we had a lot of fun.
Please see our board for extra information.
Thank you for watching. Bye!